What made you think that?
Well, if you look at this, 2 weeks ago when we knew that the Philadelphia Eagles were going to play the 49ers and the Dallas Cowboys, it was a 3-horse race. And we were trying to figure out how they would jockey for position.
Yeah.
After these 2 weeks, it's a 2-horse race. And now the Philadelphia Eagles have to show me that they're fast enough to not only keep up, but get back into the discussion. When you look at the last 2 weeks, they've been absolutely boat raced. And Rex knows this. Good teams can have bad days. You cannot necessarily be on your execution the way that you're supposed to, but you don't get bludgeoned, right? You don't get physically dominated. People don't walk away from the game with you and lace with expletives, like we heard from DeMarcus Lawrence say, we just hit him in the face. And the word that stuck out to me was when they quit, right? So you're talking about a Dallas Cowboys team that has been called a front runner, that has been called a team that won't finish, that doesn't understand how to inflict their will on other people, and they feel like they've done that to the Philadelphia Eagles. If you look at the last 2 weeks, the San Francisco 49ers and the Dallas Cowboys are not scared of this team. This was a team that was winning by the skin of their teeth, and now they're getting blown out of stadiums and arenas. And this is a serious problem for the Philadelphia Eagles, but if you are the Dallas Cowboys, you feel really good, right? You faced adversity on Thanksgiving, and you fought through that. Your quarterback fought through that, and you came out better on the other side. This is a team that can contend for a championship.
Yeah, the better team won. Plain and simple. And you know what? The tougher team won.
Yeah.
Now, when's the last time we could say that about a Dallas Cowboy team compared to a Philadelphia Eagle team?
Yeah.
But you can do it right now. And the biggest thing to me is, because I said it 4 weeks ago that people they have closed the gap. Both those teams, the Niners and the Cowboys, have closed the gap. And remember when I warned you about when you win by decision?
Yeah.
That's not the mark of a good football team. A good football team wins by knockout, okay? And we saw it yesterday. The Cowboys knocked out the Eagles, all right? And here's the thing. All these, they've had 8 one-score games, the Eagles have.
Yes.
That they've won 8 one-score games, all right? And that's winning by decision. The Cowboys have won by 20 points, all right, 8 times this year. All right, it's crazy. Like
those are knockouts.
And those are knockouts. And then the other team, the Niners, have won 4 by 20.
Right.
And so to me, they're not in that class. Your point, RC, about they're not in that.
No.
And it's just absolutely crazy.
But you think about this though, Greeny. 2 weeks ago, this team was 10-1.
Yeah.
We were talking about how this team, no matter what, found ways to win games against good opponents. And to not even be close the last 2 weeks, to not even be within reach to pinch the San Francisco 49ers of the Dallas Cowboys, in truth. And this rarely happens in the NFL. This is embarrassing. These are 2 embarrassing performances on the biggest stage for a team that we labeled, let me say that I labeled as a big game football team.
Well, they had championship medal, and that's why they won those games. That's what we saw. That's why they beat Dallas in the first place. Dallas knows. Like, here's the thing. I remember sitting in a locker room in Baltimore before. All right, we used to get whipped all the time by Jacksonville.
Yeah.
All right, and I remember Ray and everybody sitting back in there. We never have to lose to this team again.
Yeah.
That's the mentality that it looked like Dallas was saying. So we don't ever have to lose to them.
All right, let me make an excuse here for the Philadelphia Eagles, because some things are excuses and some things are reasons. I understand that they have been physically bludgeoned in back-to-back games. I will also point out that when they played the 49ers last week, they were playing at a significant rest disadvantage, and they did it again this week. That's back-to-back games in which their opponent had played the Thursday, had the mini bye, turn around, come back and play this. What I'm trying to say, I guess what I'm trying to ask.
That matters, Greeny.
I think it matters significantly.
Yep.
So what I'm asking you is this. You know, it's my favorite question. Bad week or bad sign for the Eagles? Now it's 2 bad weeks.
This is a bad sign.
Bad sign.
This is a bad sign. Now, this doesn't mean that a team with championship medal, the way that Rex and I feel this team is, can't rebound. It doesn't mean that you can't get healthy playing the Giants twice and playing the schedule that the Philadelphia Eagles play down the stretch.
Right.
But there's also going to creep in a little bit of doubt. A little bit of doubt that says, are we what we were last year or what we felt we were at the beginning of the season? And if you're the San Francisco 49ers, if you're the Dallas Cowboys, without a shadow of a doubt, you believe you're the best team in the NFC. And the team that you're looking at to say, okay, this is our stiffest competition, ain't the Philadelphia Eagles, right? When you look at the Philadelphia Eagles quarterback, who I absolutely love, he has to get healthy. Not only get healthy, be better for 4 quarters. And what's leaking in here is this. Remember watching Jalen Hurts walk off of the field versus the Buffalo Bills, walk off of the field versus the Kansas City Chiefs.
Yeah.
And we were talking about him not necessarily seeming happy. I think it's because he knew this could happen.
Yeah,
Perhaps.
go ahead. Could I just say,
Yes.
like, real quick, this defense has been a disaster
The Eagles.
in Philadelphia.
Yes.
All right, it's one of the worst third down defense. They can't get off the field.
can't
on
tackle
third down.
either.
They don't tackle well. And by the way, they had 5 new starters. But the biggest disappointment is the guy they got coordinating that defense, because right now I can tell you exactly what they're in. They do nothing to challenge the offense, and that's their problem. Greeny, it's a rule.
I love Patrick Mahomes. He dead wrong, though. And he is. And I get being frustrated. I'd be frustrated, too, if I've been the consummate professional in my locker room as my team continues to piss away games. I'd be upset, too, if I had to say maybe to MVS against the Philadelphia Eagles, I could have thrown the perfect football, more perfect third. Yeah. Right? I would be upset, too.
Yeah.
But he's dead wrong here. This isn't an NBA continuation foul, right? This isn't one of those things where they go for the layup, you get bumped, they miss the layup, and then they call or blow the whistle after. He's offsides. He is lined up offsides. And so unless Patrick Mahomes is asking the official to not do his job, then he's wrong. Now, I also get it, because you know what he's thinking? You ain't do your job last week when MVS was interfered against the Green Bay Packers. He's thinking you didn't do your job on the Hail Mary when we feel like Travis Kelce has gotten pushed, but you can't go back and fix your job retrospectively as the official. Kadarius Toney was offsides. Let's just add this to the drops of the wide receiver position of the Kansas City Chiefs. Let's add this to the games that they have lost being incompetent in their requirements of doing the thing that they are paid to do. And so Patrick Mahomes can be upset as he wants to. They lost this game. The officials did not take this game from them. Is it an amazing play? Hell yeah. Do I wish it stood? Hell yeah, because I like to see football handled as football is supposed to be handled. But that's exactly what the officials did.
Yeah, no, they got the play right.
You're saying it's the right call. You were a head coach in the NFL forever. That is the correct call to be made.
Absolutely is.
Yes.
And Greeny, to this point, I want everybody to understand, because I heard like Andy Reid even talking about like, that they
Protocol.
give you, they tell you,
right?
They give you a thumbs up. They do all that if you ask for, am I onside, am I off? He clearly doesn't, or the guy wouldn't have thrown the flag, because he would have said you got to go back. All right, but of all the years I coached,
yes,
I never once, because when they say they give you a warning, no, they give you a warning. Usually about your offensive tackle. Hey, we got to move them up a little bit.
Okay.
Your defensive end's crowding the football too much. This is your warning.
Because those things happen every play, right? That tackle's going to line up there every play. That defensive end's going to be there. The receiver's not always.
They never, not one time in all my years coaching did I have an official come up and warn me about our receivers' alignments. Never.
Okay, so let me make clear. I want to make sure, because I think a lot of people probably are hearing things now that they're not fully versed in. So a receiver can look over to the side judge and can say, "Am I onside? Am I off?"
So what happens is, the receiver gets up to the line of scrimmage,
right?
And as he's walking up to the line of scrimmage, he'll look to the sideline and he'll give a thumbs up. Right, and so when he gives the thumbs up, the official will look at him, and if he's supposed to be on the ball and he's not on the ball, he'll tell him to move up. Okay. Right? If he's supposed to be off the ball, he'll tell him to back up. Now, if you're offsides and you give the thumbs up, he will tell you, if you look at him before the play, to back up. Right, it's part of sort of like an unspoken way of doing the job.
To be clear, it's not a rule. It's not in the rule book.
He doesn't have to.
The official
doesn't have to do that. No, it is something that I think just started to happen over time as receivers would line up and formations would change on the ball, off the ball. But Kadarius Toney, at least from what we could see, never did that. And it still doesn't matter. Yeah. It's his job to be onside.
And the NFL, just so everybody understands, the NFL doesn't want to throw those type of penalties.
No.
And so why we were having too many slowing the game down and all that. So they look over, and this is not the guy's job, but yes, he'll tell you you're good or you're legal or you're not. But in this case, there's no way in hell he did. Yeah. There's no way he asked for it. And if he did, shame on that official.
Now the thing is this too, Greeny. Here's what Patrick Mahomes is saying. That Kadarius Toney's toe being across the line had no effect on the play.
Which is true.
What he's saying is, in that moment, Mr. Official, understand where we are, understand his toe being on or being over the ball had no effect or in no way gave us an advantage over the Buffalo Bills. And all of those things I understand, sort of an unspoken, like, let us play the game. But from Patrick Mahomes' standpoint of, is the official wrong for throwing the flag? Absolutely not.
Okay, so there's wrong and then there's wrong, meaning he's right, it was a penalty.
Yes.
But in that circumstance, in the final minute of a game that has this impact, and we all understand that, with something that does not have any impact on the play at all, should the official let it go?
Here's what I can tell you.
Yeah.
If he had a freaking DeLorean, he wouldn't have threw it. Right? If he knew that Kadarius Toney's toe being across that line would negate the play of the year, I promise you he doesn't throw it. In that moment, he's going through his protocol the same way you go through yours for your job.
Yeah.
In that moment, that's his job. And in that moment, Kadarius Toney is offsides. So he's just throwing that flag. And so I would, hindsight, hell yeah, we wish he didn't throw it.